May remember the democracy dies in darkness. That's the slogan of the Washington Post now. Well, it is. Once President Trump came in office, they changed. That became their new thing. Well, they quietly had to correct more than a dozen of their Russiagate stories and headlines. There were 10 journalists from the Washington Post and New York Times that were awarded Pulitzer Prizes for that reporting. And remember, the scandal has been debunked. Well, after complaints that sparked a review, the Pulitzer Prize board issued a statement, and it said, quote, no passages or headlines, contentions or assertions in any of the winning submissions were discredited by facts, and the 2018 Pulitzer Prize national reporting stand. Well, former President Donald Trump fired back, saying that the board doesn't have a shred of credibility left. The awards should be given back, and they should win an award for disinformation instead. Well, here with reaction is tonight's company, the host of the Gorka reality check right here on Newsmax, Seb Gorka, along with former Massachusetts Senator and Ambassador to New Zealand, Scott Brown. Senator, good to see you. Seb, I want to start with you. I feel like the Pulitzer Prize board is looking at these stories. The Post themselves corrected it. They updated these stories, and the board, the Pulitzer Prize board, is like, yep, we're good.
It's an embarrassment. I mean, think about it. When we have to wait a year and a half for the lamestream legacy media to say, oh, yeah, Hunter Biden's laptop is Hunter Biden's laptop. They have no shame. And let's get serious about this. We know they're not journalists, Sean. They're fakers. They're propagandists for the DNC, for Biden, for the squad, for the left. But there's a serious aspect to all of this. We now know that the Russia hoax was Russian disinformation. We know the paper trail through a Russian national at Brookings all the way through to Christopher Steele and his so-called dossier. The serious point here, it comes from former DIA intelligence officer Rebecca Koffler, who's nailed it with her piece recently. Vladimir Putin is laughing. He's sitting in the Kremlin going right now, they gave my Russian disinformation package a Pulitzer Prize. This is how much they don't care about the truth, Sean.
Yeah. Senator, the thing that's interesting in kind of researching this a little today is what we found out is that there's a bit of irony. This is not the first time that the New York Times has won a Pulitzer Prize for questionable reporting. Back in the 1930s, their Moscow bureau chief won a Pulitzer for his reporting of the Soviet Union. Well, as it turns out, the reporting was completely, literally made up. So much so that the New York Times had to go back and literally said to the Pulitzer Prize Committee, we want to give you back these awards. We found out that he made up his sources. He made up events. It's completely false. We're admitting it. We want to give you back the awards. And the Pulitzer Prize Committee said, no, thanks. Keep the awards. I mean, that shows you how bad it is that they literally wouldn't take back the awards when the publication said are bad.
Yeah, listen, Sean, first of all, it's great to see you. And it's all inside baseball. Does the average American care about a Pulitzer Prize? No. This is a litany of stories. Not only that, but the editing of Abrams' editorial, obviously the Hunter Biden laptop, the Russia hoax. No one cares. You know what they care about right now? They care about the inflation. They care about the border. They care about everything that this administration is doing to destroy this country. And energy independence, you referenced on your earlier segment, he's going hat in hand, begging people who don't like us and want to kill us for more oil. That's what people care about. They do not care about Pulitzer Prizes. It's kind of inside baseball, but I'll use a Bill Belichick term. Just do your job. You know, report the facts. Don't make stuff up. Don't edit it. You know, do your job. And if you screw up, admit it and fix it and drive on. Pretty simple.
You know, Seb, speaking of both disinformation and do your job, I want to play you what Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said yesterday. Take a look at this.
The border is secure. The border, we are working to make the border more secure. That has been a historic challenge.
The border is secure. Seb Gorka.
Yeah. First, let me address the ambassador. Look, it is inside baseball. Who cares about Pulitzer Prizes? But it's indicative of something. If you're prepared to lie about the death camps in the Soviet Union in the 30s, get a Pulitzer Prize for it, and then lie about Russian disinformation that led to people like John Brennan calling President Trump a traitor, this stuff matters because this is how they get away with the propaganda. When it comes to Alejandro Mayorkas, I think this is the most evil guy in the administration. Yes, Biden's senile, he's a dodderer. Yes, Buttigieg is a laughing stock that looks like Alfred E. Newman. But this is a guy who knows how to secure the border. He served in DHS under the Obama administration. He knows what he is saying is a lie. And I don't care after the midterms about subpoenas and House investigations. I want people like Mayorkas arrested. I want them charged with aiding and abetting the cartels, because the young women being trafficked across the border and being raped are happening in huge numbers because of people like this. I want justice in America, not just the Pulitzer Prizes to be withdrawn.
You know, Senator, Mayorkas goes on in that talk and says that domestic terrorism is really his number one concern. Okay, fair enough. But here's the thing. 56 terrorists have been flagged at our southern border just this year alone. So if you care about, if you're going to say that the border is closed, one, then how do you explain 56 terrorists coming in? Number two, if you're going to say that national security is your big concern, then that equally is concerning. I mean, at some point, it is literally disinformation what they're doing, and it's neglect, to Seb's point.
Of course it is. And yes, I agree with you about the Pulitzer Prizes. Yes, it's disinformation, misinformation, but more importantly, people are hurting right now. And this is a great example. 2 million people to date have come through. No COVID tests here. See you later. Shipping them all around the country. They're showing up in D.C., thank goodness. You know, hope the mayor tries to deal with it. But more importantly, listen, Sean, my wife's been down there. She saw those trafficked women. She saw the brothels. She saw where the walls finished. It's 70% apprehension rate, where it's not. It's only a 30% apprehension rate. We need to have the stay in Mexico policy start. We need to finish the darn wall. And he needs to take a drug test or something, because some of the stuff that he says is just so far out of line. The border is not secure, sir. Okay, we see it every single day. It's a national security risk. It's a health security risk, and it's crushing people's hopes and dreams. And the people that have followed the rules, well, they're just devastated by this. And this is just another example of the administration trying to give away the election coming up, because it's going to be a very, very powerful statement at the missteps, half steps, and wrong steps of this administration.
Seb, let me follow up on what Senator Brown's saying. Why? You said it best. Mayorkas served in the Obama administration. He's not a dumb guy. He knows what he's doing, but he's saying stuff like the border's closed, and Senator Brown just enumerated all the ways that you could fix this. Why are they doing it?
Well, this is where we get into the territory of where the left says it's conspiracy theory. It's not. The New York Times, the Washington Post, for decades has celebrated what they call the browning of America. They think white America is bad. That's critical race theory, the oppressors, the founding fathers. And there's a very interesting thing when you look at fertility rates in America. Liberals don't have babies. It's just a fact. Look up the data. They don't hit the 2.1 child replacement rate, which is the bottom line, the necessity to replace your population. So who's going to vote for Democrats, especially after you got 9.1% inflation? The racism, the bigotry of the Democrat Party is they think, let's let 2 million people in per year. Let's legalize and amnesty all of them. And because they've got brown skin, they've got to vote for us. But here's the wake-up call. When you look at Myra Flores, when you look at the recent amazing successes for conservatives in America, the Hispanic community, the black community is waking up. So the Democrats thought they could buy new constituents by letting them into the country and naturalizing them. But guess what? Those minorities are starting to realize that the Democrats look down on them. So this midterm, it's going to be, as the ambassador said, a rude awakening for the left.
Yep. Senator Brown, Seb Gorka, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean. Great to see you both.